Yeah, so I think it's a great opportunity. Gator Made at the University of Florida does an amazing job with kind of creating that plan for you. When I decided to go to the University of Florida, you think of it as more of a 40-year plan than a 4-year plan. So I think that's a great thing, and having all the alumni and people like Chris Doran to be able to help that out. I've had the great opportunity to do an internship through, broadcasting kind of stuff like that. So the University of Florida definitely sets that up for you to have those different kind of opportunities.
So I'm jumping to conclusions here, Derek. But after you're finished playing football, is this not this show, but this type of work, is that something that would interest you?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, if you
welcome,
end up,
by the way, you're welcome to take the show over tomorrow.
if you eventually get off this show, maybe I'll take it from you. But yeah, doing broadcasting, staying around sports, once you're actually in sports, you never want to leave. So having the opportunity to be around sports, talk about it, knowing the ins and outs and just how the game works is amazing. So definitely that's something that I'd be interested in and get to do in the future.
Yeah, I was going to see if you were available next week or the week after, but you told me during the break you've got a slight, this is not your normal class trip that most of us took, maybe down to the beach. Tell us where you're going next.
Yeah, so we're actually doing a trip to Tokyo over in Japan. Luckily, we have the opportunity for every year to do like a service abroad trip. So Savannah Bailey over there in Gator Made does an amazing job with setting that up, make sure everything is kind of set in place for us to kind of show a little bit kind of who we are as a person, to be able to go out and use our platform to be able to really just help other people. And when you get back from those trips, you just understand how grateful you really are and how blessed you really are to have what you have, and not to take things for granted. So I think that's amazing.
That is amazing. Where else have you been?
2 years ago we took a trip to Greece. Last year we did South Africa, and then this year's Japan.
That is really extraordinary. I'm curious when you go to places like that. You haven't been to Tokyo yet, but you've been to Greece and Africa. What strikes you about what you see there versus what you have here?
Yeah, it's definitely a completely different style of living. Different cultural aspects and everywhere. So, I mean, it's great to be able to learn and just honestly, respect what they do differently than you do. And, that goes back to the thing, just, being grateful for what you have, because, understanding as an athlete, knowing the platform that you have and the influence that you have on the younger generation and even those at your age that don't have what you have. So I think that's amazing to be able to, pass that along to other people.
This is so inspiring to hear, because I think too often we get hung up, Derek, on athletes and the only thing they ever do is work out and prepare. And there is a lot of that, to say the least. You can't play at the level you're at. But you mentioned responsibility. Talk about that for a second, because I think those of us who don't really understand what you go through and what you represent would like to hear.
Yeah, so the responsibility of a student athlete, I think sometimes is, people don't understand the magnitude of what that really is. You have your classes, your football schedule, all these different things that you have to manage, and then, still go out on Saturdays and perform to the best of your ability. So, after those games, whether or not things go right or wrong, you're going to get criticism no matter what. So, just being able to have the maturity level of, like guys who are 17, 18, 19, it takes a lot. So to kind of understand that and really have that maturity level, understand responsibilities, and have that time management, I think that's the key to kind of being a successful young adult.
And we get so hung up, as we do a program like this, on winning and losing, but I think it's often lost on what happens. Your team, had some really good moments. You beat Tennessee last year. You had a road win in the SEC, a couple of them, but there were also some bitter disappointments. How are you able to deal with that? Not so much from a team standpoint, because you have a lot of people to lean on, but you're out walking around, going to class, and you have to hear what's going on around you.
Yeah, you're going to get that everywhere, and I think Coach Napier's done an amazing job with surrounding us and people in the facility to be able to control those emotions and understand that, that criticism is always going to come. I'm super excited with the team that we've built this next upcoming year, all of the talent that we've added through the transfer portal. The experience is the biggest thing, I think, that people don't realize. Last year we were going into games with guys that just didn't have as much experience. Now that we have double the amount of experience going into next year through all these big time games, I think that's going to be the aspect that sets us apart. So.
We had Graham Mertz on about a month ago, and we know what the pundits say, but I mean he had a lot of people convinced about things that we don't see, that we don't know, that you're referring to now. And I came away, and I think you heard it from Kubelik and even Chris, that there's something going on at Florida. I'm not trying to put words in your mouth, but it feels like a lot of us are in the dark, so to speak, about the transformation between last year and this year. Can you give us a clue on what's happening?
Yeah, absolutely. I think it's all about, getting the right pieces for the puzzle. Everyone's seen a lot of changes and has their own judgments on the type of people we've added or, let leave, or the different coaching staffs and stuff like that. I finally feel like Coach Napier's done an amazing job with putting those pieces together. So understanding how to mold it all, get it all together, make sure everyone's on the right page, and then having the guys around in the facility that just have pride about the University of Florida and the program, and understanding how much it's really worth. And I think that's the biggest part about this team, that everybody just cares so much, not about winning and just about doing things the right way. So I think that's going to be the separation tool for us.
Talking to Derek Wingo. Derek, answer this, because you talk to fans, and if you're my age or older, you go, this is not the football I grew up with. Used to go to the school because it was the University of Florida or Georgia or South Carolina. Now, I'm representing what fans say. Players are making money; they can leave whenever they want. Answer that, because I'm hearing you, and I'm not hearing that type of approach. I'm hearing something much more traditional than. Not that when Chris played and when other people played, they went there because it was the University of Florida.
No, absolutely. I think that NIL is an amazing thing. I think it's helped so many different athletes, not only, help support them and their families, but, also it's like changing the game a little bit, right? It's getting kind of more of like the professional level understanding, making you grow up and mature a little bit, when you have things like financial advisors and learn how to even pay your own taxes, things like that. You don't see 17, 8-year-olds doing. So I think NIL has been amazing. But, understanding that at the end of the day, you're there to play football. And I think the money and everything's great. You need to get what you deserve, and that needs to be handled the right way. But understand that, if you're not performing to the way that you should be, don't expect a paycheck. If you're not doing what you need to be done, not showing up to classes the right way, doing all the things that you're required and supposed to be doing, that you're expected to be doing, don't expect these big paychecks. So I think that, that goes back to just the pride I think that this team has, understanding the fact we're there to do a job. And, that's just kind of that mentality to get the job done and handle business the right way.
Well, Derek, I can't tell you how impressed I am meeting you. I know you're a great football player, but, man, you need to – I got a couple agents I'd like to give you, because you are going to be a star in this business whenever you quit playing football. Thanks for dropping by, and all the best this year.
Absolutely. I appreciate you.
What a fantastic conversation.